The last of the short assignments is just writing up a few different graphs here. So these are different examples of client data. Again, going back to Jim, number of standard drinks consumed per day. The question here is, if you were to perform visual analysis only, how would you write up the results of this analysis? Based on the space, or please write in the space below. So this is where I want you to apply some of the course materials on writing up the 4 properties of graph data. So for this item, you might want to look at the trend notes that I posted to the website. So I covered this in depth in a different video, but you might just want to check out how to write up the 4 properties of graph data. Underneath each one of these, I've got an example of how to write it up within the terms and language used in the course. So you might want to use this as a template. So here you'd want to be discussing stability, level, trend, and continuity. So during the baseline phase, you could argue that there's a trend. I could see one, but I probably would put that there was some stability here. There's a range from 2 to about 7. So you could also make an argument that there wasn't really stability here. You could say that there is some trend. Again, I'll leave this up to your discretion. But you would discuss those properties and discuss that compared to the intervention phase, where it looks like there was improvement here. But also during the intervention phase, I'd want you to discuss stability, level, trend. You can make an argument for one way or the other. So writing up a acceleration line graph. Based on the acceleration graph, we can look at the 2 different. So here we can look at the 2 lines, the blue line being the baseline and the green line being the intervention. So even though these look like they're at a similar slope, we could say that the intervention phase was associated with an accelerated rate of improvement relative to the baseline phase. So again, with acceleration lines, you wouldn't just want to talk about improvement, you would want to talk about accelerated or decelerated rate of improvement or reduction. Okay, so then there's the vignette again that describes the data below. The graph charts Jim's alcohol cravings each day for a baseline period for the first 3 weeks and an additional 3 months of treatment. Analyze the graph, and answers from 3A and 3B. So 3A asks, please write up the intermediate results of the mean line used to analyze Jim's data in the space below. So you could say something relative to the baseline during the intervention phase, and then fill in the blank with whatever you've noticed the intermediate results are. And then 3B, which percentage of reduction on average occurred in Jim's alcohol cravings during the first 3 weeks of the intervention relative to the baseline. So here you'd want to subtract the difference from 5.2 to 2.83 and then divide that by the baseline average. So the math would be 5.2 minus 2.83, and then dividing that by 5.2, you should be able to figure out your percent reduction.